Cinematic suspenseful intro sound effect. 5 seconds. Slow rising tension. Deep dramatic bass rumble. Subtle whoosh transition. Suitable for geopolitical YouTube video.
American politics is once again in the spotlight. A congressional seat from the state of Georgia is suddenly open, and voters are preparing to choose a new representative. The seat was previously held by Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the most talked about figures in Congress. Her departure created a rare political moment, a special election that could reshape the political landscape of the district. Now, voters are asking a critical question. Who will represent them in Washington? What happens in this election may reveal important signals about the direction of American politics. Marjorie Taylor Greene first entered Congress in 2020 and quickly became one of the most recognizable names in American politics. Her political style is direct, confrontational, and strongly conservative. Supporters view her as a politician who challenges the traditional political establishment. Critics argue that her rhetoric often creates controversy and division. Regardless of opinion, Greene remained a central figure in political debates for years. Now that her seat is open, the race to replace her has attracted national attention. The outcome may influence how future conservative leaders shape their political strategies. The election is taking place in Georgia's 14th congressional district. This region is widely known for its strong conservative voting history. During the previous presidential election, voters in the district overwhelmingly supported Donald Trump. Because of this pattern, many analysts consider the district a safe Republican area. However, special elections sometimes create unexpected political dynamics. Lower turnout and unusual candidate lineups can change typical voting patterns. That is why this election is being closely watched by political observers across the country. One unusual aspect of this election is the number of candidates involved. More than a dozen political figures entered the race to replace Greene. These candidates represent different political backgrounds and policy priorities. Some focused on strong conservative messaging. Others promoted moderate or bipartisan approaches. When many candidates compete at the same time, the vote can become highly divided. Instead of producing a clear winner, the election often moves to a second round. That is exactly what happened in this contest. Because no candidate received a majority of votes, the election moved to a runoff. A runoff election is essentially a final round between the top two candidates. This system ensures that the winner ultimately receives clear support from the majority of voters. Runoff elections are common in Georgia and often produce intense political competition. Both remaining campaigns now focus on persuading undecided voters. The stakes are high because the winner will represent the district in the United States Congress. One of the remaining candidates is Sean Harris. Harris is a Democrat and a former brigadier general in the United States Army. His campaign focuses on leadership, national security, and responsible governance. Supporters highlight his military experience as proof of discipline and strategic thinking. Harris presents himself as a candidate willing to work across party lines. For Democrats, winning in this conservative district would represent a significant political breakthrough. The other major candidate is Clay Fuller. Fuller is a Republican with experience as a prosecutor. His campaign emphasizes conservative values, law enforcement, and economic growth. He argues that the district should continue its traditional conservative political direction. Fuller also received support from Donald Trump. That endorsement could play an important role in motivating Republican voters. The influence of Donald Trump remains a major factor in Republican politics. When Trump endorses a candidate, it often energizes supporters and attracts national media attention. Because of that, some analysts see this election as a test of Trump's continued influence. If the candidate he supports wins, it may confirm his strong connection with conservative voters. If not, it could suggest a shift in political dynamics. For many voters, national political drama is not the main concern. Instead, they focus on everyday issues. Economic stability, inflation, and job opportunities are among the most common topics. Border policy and national security are also frequently discussed. Some voters want strong ideological leadership. Others prefer representatives who focus on practical solutions. Early voting results revealed an interesting pattern. The Democratic candidate performed stronger than some analysts expected. In districts with strong Republican history, that kind of support is unusual. However, special elections can produce unpredictable outcomes. Turnout levels, campaign messaging, and local issues can all influence the final result. As the runoff approaches, both campaigns are adjusting their strategies. Republicans are focusing on mobilizing conservative voters. Democrats are trying to attract moderates and independent voters. Campaign teams are using rallies, social media, and television interviews to spread their message. In special elections, turnout can determine everything. Even though this race involves a single congressional seat, it has attracted national attention. Political strategists from both parties are closely monitoring the situation. They want to understand whether voter attitudes are changing. Special elections sometimes reveal early signals about broader political trends. The runoff election is scheduled for April 7th. On that day, voters will return to polling stations to choose between the two final candidates. The winner will represent Georgia's 14th district in Congress. Although the term may be temporary, the symbolic impact of the result could be significant. At first glance, this may appear to be a local political contest, but in reality, represents much larger questions about American politics. How strong is conservative influence in the district? Can Democrats compete in traditionally Republican regions? The race to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene is about more than one political seat. It reflects the evolving priorities of voters in Georgia and across the country. Soon the ballots will be counted, and the district will have a new representative. Until then, the political world will continue watching closely.
Short, cinematic outro sting, 5 seconds. Soft, orchestral hit with fade-out. Dramatic but not overwhelming. Perfect for closing narrative on a serious geopolitical topic.